In this mausoleum, you will find a lot of burials from people from Italy as well as Ireland. If you're into the whole mob movie cinema, here is one that you might recognize. This is Frank Sheeran, also of the movie fame, The Irishman. It starred Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and directed by Martin Scorsese.
Frank Sheeran. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you said it right.
Under the contract, management can only fire a driver on very specific charges. So, you ever show up late?
No.
Do you have any moving violations?
No.
Do you drink on the job?
No.
You ever hit anybody?
On a job?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
All right, then. We don't have nothing to worry about.
But now I'm a man.
I want you to meet my cousin, Russell Buffalino.
How are you?
Hi, nice to meet you.
It was like the army. You followed orders. You did the right thing. You got rewarded.
I'm a man.
A friend of ours is having a little trouble. Friend at the top.
Back then, there was nobody in this country who didn't know who Jimmy Hoffa was.
You got a gun! Get the gun out of his hand!
You always charge a guy with a gun. With a knife, you run away. So you charge with a gun, with a knife, you run.
I'm a man.
Hiya, Frank. Would you like to be a part of history?
Yes, I would.
Big business and the government are working together, trying to pull us apart. Something's got to be done.
What else you say? Now's not the time to not say.
I'm a natural born lover.
We're going to war with these people.
I'm a man.
War.
Things have gotten out of hand with our friend.
You gotta sit down, everybody says so.
No, I'm not sitting down. I can't do it.
It's what it is.
What it is.
I know things they don't know I know.
It's gonna happen. Either way, he's going.
You know, I don't care whether you did it or not. That makes no difference to me.
Yeah, I know.
I'm here to defend you, right?
Right. What do you want to know? You want to know if I did it or not?
Like NAACP President Cecil Moore, District Attorney Emmett Fitzpatrick, Philadelphia Mayor Frank Rizzo. Hey, they like you, Frank. And of course, our featured speaker, James Riddle Hoffa.
I know it's based on the book. I heard you paint houses, the Irishman with, you know, the cast back together, Joe Pesci and Rob De Niro. Any thoughts on that movie?
The movie was pretty good. A lot of bullshit. The Irishman did not do that. He wrote in the book that he killed Jimmy Hoffa. And that,
Pretty clearly.
but that's a shame. He didn't do it.
Interesting.
What happened with Jimmy Hoffa is that Jimmy Hoffa was well regarded in the mafia. He ran the unions, the trucking, and he was with the mafia, and he turned in all the time. And he got in trouble with the Kennedys, and he went away. When he went away, they put somebody else in there. I forget his name, but they put somebody else in there who took his place and did the same exact thing. When Jimmy Hoffa came out of prison, they grabbed him. They said, listen, you were great with us. You did the right thing. There's nobody knows the union like you. We're going to put you with this guy. You can't go back legally into the union. So you could work with him. The money will go from him to you. We'll give you a piece of the pie, and then it comes to us. He told them, no, it's his union. From what I was told in the union, they said, in the meeting, they said, this isn't a candy store. This isn't yours. This is ours. We tell you if you're going to run it or you're not going to run it or what you're going to do. He refused. There was a guy in the Genovese family who got the contract to go down, him and his guy, Crazy something or other, whatever his name was, and they went down and killed him because he wouldn't conform, more or less. This guy, the Irishman, made up a story, wrote a book. They took it, they ran with it. I don't know who they talked to. I don't think they talked to anybody.
Literally in the movie, he goes, and that's how it happened. It was as simple as that. You know, like we've all been making too big of a deal of the mystery.
Well, yeah. I mean, that he's in New Jersey under a stadium.
Right.
And he's over here. I can't picture going down to Ohio or Detroit to kill somebody and they want you to put him in a trunk and drive him back 14 fucking hours.
It's inefficient.
I would have never did that. That's stupid. I mean, I think they buried him over there. Whatever they did with him. That part of it I don't know, but I know that.
You could get pulled over for bleeding taillights.
Right. And now you're in a shootout or killing a cop because a body's in there. It's the furthest thing, I think, from the truth.
Right.
It made for good Hollywood, but that's about all it made.
So you have 19 people you're accused of murdering, right?
Well, I'm participating in 19 murders. Yes.
Come on.
Sorry. All right.
Let me make this straight. Frank Sheerhan, the Irishman, absolutely 1,000% did not kill Hoffa. That was a fabricated story. He said it was a deathbed confession. He happened to have a book coming out at the same time. That story has been debunked. Not only that, I know that personally, but if you go on and you look at Frank Sheerhan lies, just Google it, you'll see, everybody from the FBI to credible sources have debunked that. He did not kill Hoffa, nor did he kill Joey Gallo. Absolutely not. And that I know for a fact. My family, my era, I knew what happened back then.
I started in this business when I was 19 years old. When I killed somebody, boom, 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 I used a hollow head. Jimmy Hoffa was one of my best customers. Every time he had a headache, I was the aspirin.
Obviously, we hear different stories.
I didn't hear stories, you heard them.
Phil Leonetti?
Yes.
He makes up stories.
Yes. Salvi Testa was the purest young killer.
But everybody says that. Leonetti also believes Salvi Testa was a great guy.
Leonetti's a phony. He wanted to kill him.
How much time did you spend with Nicky Scarfo?
I hated him. He was evil.
You said that to Angelo Bruno. They're going to kill Nicky.
I'm not going to repeat that. Why should I repeat? You didn't hear me?
So you had nothing to do with the Quaaludes and the cocaine at that time?
They set me up. Guess who went to jail?
What did you learn from Skinny Razor?
He taught me, number one, don't trust nobody. I know what that meant.
How did those conversations take place between you and Merlino?
Merlino's nothing. He knows nothing. He's the dumbest man in the world. Spit on the ground.
What happened with Sonny Liston, 1954? What's the?
See, you don't even know that. I gotta help you.
That's why I have you here. How'd you become a boss, though? Because that's where the controversy comes in.
What's the controversy? Me, Angelo Bruno, and Carlo Gambino. All three of us cut our fingers. Nobody could touch me. I killed more people than cancer.
My guest today's got a different kind of a story. His story goes all the way back to him being friends with Jimmy Hoffa. And on top of that, he also had a relationship with the man who killed Jimmy Hoffa. Obviously, he was involved in a mob world in Philadelphia, crime family, and working with Angelo Bruno, had a chance to do some work with Carlo Gambino. Pretty deep stories here. And on top of that, he ends up in the mid-90s with Joey Merlino when they get out of jail together. He ends up becoming the active boss of the Philadelphia crime family for 4 years until eventually becoming a witness, and he became the highest ranking member of the mafia family to become a witness and go work with the FBI. So having said that, my guest today, Ralph Natali. Ralph, thank you so much for being a guest today on Valuetainment.
My pleasure.
Appreciate you for coming out.
You just ask the questions and I'll give you the best answers and truthful.
First question, why are you doing this? Why you want to tell this story?
Why?
Yeah.
Why not? Why wouldn't I say, everybody knows who I am and what I was. I started in this business when I was 19 years old, really heavy. I knew every man, every boss, and I worked for the men who were controlled by these men, the culinary workers and the Teamsters. Jimmy Hoffa was one of my best customers. Every time he had a headache, I was the aspirin. It was simple as that. We got along. I became very friendly with Jimmy. I'm the last man that he came to see when he was trying to get the union back by a claim. When he came into South Jersey, called a friend of his in the Teamsters, said, would you call that little guy, tell him I want to see him. I'm at the rickshaw. I like to talk to him. I knew what it was. So I said, okay, he called me. And I went. I went there. I brought two friends with me. I made them sit outside because I didn't trust nobody in those days. And I was good friends with Jimmy. So they sat in the lobby. Ronnie Turchi and Mike Barone, they're both gone. They're under the dirt. And I went in to see him. I saw him talking with John Greeley. He was the Teamster. Went over, we hugged. We always hugged. Because we became friends, besides me doing and taking away his headaches once in a while. When somebody wanted to pull their Teamster local out of his international, and he was getting, and were making speeches and whatever, he called for me. He sent word to the guys, or whoever they were.
What do you mean by you were the aspirin to his headaches?
What did you do? Well, let me explain it. I went to see the certain gentlemen who were. And I talked to him. He said, no, we're pulling out this and that. I said, do you know what you're doing to yourself? You're doing to Jimmy and the rest of the team? Yes, I do. And you say, no, you're still going to try to pull out? You're going to make a mistake. And that's all I said. I'll see you. And within months, nobody could find that guy. He just disappeared. Then they found him somewhere, laying down with 2 or 3 holes in his head. And that local stood in the International. That's how he built the International. And they loved him because he treated them well. But some men, their ego explodes their sense of propriety. And that's how we became friends. And he never called no one else when he had a headache. That's why he came to see me in the rickshaw. Wanted to sit down. I said, no, let's stand up and talk in a corner. It was by the bar. It was after lunch, it was quiet. He said, Ralph, I'm going to take over the local again, the union, the international, by a claim. He was strong. Jimmy was a strong guy. I said, Jimmy, why are you doing this? You got all the money in the world. I know you have it. You got a great pension. You got a great family. Josie was sleeping upstairs, his wife. What's wrong with you? He said, Ralph, it's the only thing I know how to do. I said to myself, he wasn't a womanizer, like most men are.
He wasn't?
No, definitely not. He wasn't a drunk, and he wasn't a gambler. Here's the things that men do when they have money and time. He didn't do any of these, and I'm telling you because I know. I said, just go back and enjoy your life, Jimmy. You did everything you had to do. I love you. Everybody loves you. Ralph, I'm going to ask you to do something. Please. I know the state of Jersey and all the Teamsters. They love you and they fear you. Please get them to, when I go into the convention, to back me. I said, Jim, I'm going to give you one answer. First of all, a man can't serve 2 kings. You know where I was, what I was almost born into. He says, yes, I do. I said, well, I'm going to have to go and see him. And if that man washes his hands of you, I'll help you. Because I didn't like the punks that were pulling out for him. They promised him this, they promised him that, they gave him nothing. But they gave him freedom. And he had his pension. He had everything. I said, okay, I'll give you a call and I'll let you know. Please, Ralph, I'm going to find out shortly. Shook his hand. I've seen my 2 friends. Okay, somebody, everything's okay. I went to see Angelo Bruno at his home in South Philadelphia, where he was killed right in front of there, but that's another story. Went in, his wife answered her Sue. I knocked him quietly. Oh, Ralph, what are you doing here? I said, when the king calls, his people have to come see him. Hey, Ralph, come on in. He said, I know what you got. I know that other guy came into the city. Look at him, like the FBI was. And what do you want now? I said, he asked me to help him to be Teamster boss again. He said, Ralph, that ain't going to happen. Everything's been done. Agreements paid. Everything's done. Tell him to go home and enjoy his life. I said, I told him that already, but he wants me to come and help him. No. Don't go near him. Don't go by him. After you told him already, well, He don't have to be told again. Send a word with someone else. You stay away from him. I said, but just stay away from him. I'm telling you. What's wrong, Ange? This guy did everything for you, for everybody. Because that's how I was with Ange. Because I was Ange's last moment of everything. He said, the man upstate Jersey, you know who I mean, the man that you went one day and you see he was up on the roof with the pigeons, flying pigeons. You want me to go see him? No, they're going to do it. And they'll take care of this business. My God. I said, is that your last? He said, that's my last time. Okay, good. I'll see you later. I love you. I kiss him on the cheek. And boom, I left. I knew he was going to be dead within, or missing, I didn't know what they were, in 2 or 3 weeks. And he was.
In 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah. Because he called this guy, that guy. He made an agreement with some men that he used to deal with in a mafia family from New York. And when he made this agreement, it was supposed to be binding on either one. They said, we'll send somebody to see and talk to you. And, they send somebody. They send 3 people, the Andretta brothers and Budrillo, his last name, I'm pronouncing his name. The 3 of them went to see him, and he was never saw again. Never. No fine, no nothing. And that was the end of Jimmy Hoffa, because he didn't want to live nice with his family. He wanted to go out and still have that. Here I am. In Philadelphia, Eric Shawn, I think is the broadcaster at Fox News, asked to see me. I went up to see him. I said, what's up? He said, talking about everything. He said, a friend of yours, who's the friend? He said, Frank Sheeran. Frank Sheeran, yes, what did he want from you? He told me he shot and killed Jimmy Hoffa. What? In fact, I saw it filmed. I said, not in a million years is you allowed to get near him. No, but he told me, unbelievable. I told the FBI they're going to get together. I'm going to investigate it. You do it because you've always been nice with people. You do what you got to do. He's a liar. He wants to beat somebody before he dies because he's sick. I think he's got cancer.
You're saying that?
Yeah. He said, well, okay, good. Lo and behold, he investigated where they found the blood on the floor. Then when the FBI sent the forensic people in, they tested it. It wasn't Jimmy Hoffa's blood. He said he shot him twice. And then when I went up to see him, I went up to see Eric again. I said, what did I tell you? He wouldn't talk to him. What's wrong with you? He said, my mind is, he's a liar. And I said, well, I told you that, but you wanted to be, you did. He said, I'm sorry, I should have listened to you. That's a Jimmy Hoffa story. And they'll never find him, unless it's somebody, one of those 3. Now, Tommy Bergiulio, the shooter, as soon as he got in the car, he shot him. And the 2 Andretti brothers. But Bergiulio's not around because he got killed a couple of months after that. Because he was walking around in New York City. I killed the top guy. I should be getting the top. I should be made a captain. I should be this and that. He was a made man with the union. Because I heard he was doing that. He's putting a spotlight on him. He was killed within that week after I heard that. He came out of the restaurant in the Italy section. Boom, boom, boom. He was done. No more talking.